Well, good morning, everybody. This is Stephen Detweiler, and this is Walk and Talk. This is Walk and Talk, Walk and Talk, talking to walk and talk. It is about 95 degrees out. Very, very empty, as you see, which is okay, because I'm okay with that. I mean, it's my own park. It's my own park. There's no people. There's no people. It's just the park. That's our starting point. Then we go to 0, and then we come back to 2.5 and back to 0. When it gets cooler, I'll start doing the other walk around, so it'd be different scenery. But you know, let me know if you guys like to walk and talk with me, just showing the scenery, or if you like to walk and talk with me, walking and talking to the camera. It's just input, you know. Always comment, make comments. Comments are cool. I want to hear your comments. I want to see your comments, and then maybe I'll read them out loud, and then I'll hear your comments. And so yesterday, I got my phone with me. Had little things to remind me of, but yesterday, let me say this. I'm going to give a review. I'm going to give a review of Firestone as a company, and I'm going to be giving a review of Firestone as a place that has some really good people. And there's a difference. And so, and you're gonna see in this video, I took some video of the technicians, and introduced you to Kenya. Just a beautiful young lady, smart. And I'll introduce you to her. I'm not sure when I'm going to be putting oh, lizard. Did I get the lizard? I didn't get the lizard. He was a fairly big lizard too. Oh man. Let's see if I can. There he is. He's running around the tree. Let's see if we can see him. See if we can find the lizard in the tree. Lizard in the tree. Oh man. No lizard in the tree. Lizard in the tree. Yeah. So, you know, I talk about different things on whatever's on my mind. Man, I hear some people. I don't see people. Do I need to walk faster? Am I being chased? Oh no. And so so I just talk about some stuff. So I said, leave comments about the stuff you want to talk about. I'll talk about the stuff you want to talk about. And so here it was, man. I'm watching my tires. I used to sell tires at Saginaw Walmart. I worked in the Tire Lube Express, I think, for like 5 years or so out of my 4 or 5 years out of my 8 years there. And oh, look at the red jay. Man, love red jays. Red jays and blue jays. I know they're called cardinals. I just call them red jays. I used to have a family of, when I lived up near Newark and Haslett, like in between that. Look at that. Man, that was nice. It was pretty. In the little single wide I lived in the same place, and which is really strange, is look at that. We always got to stop at the creek or creek and see. It's really dry right now because we really haven't had any rain. So where I used to live in the single wide, there's a tree out there by the single wide, and both a cardinal family and a blue jay family live there, which is very unusual because from what I understand it, cardinals and blue jays don't get along. But for the whole time I was there a number of years, and for those number of years, those two species that didn't get along got along great. And then when I went from the small single wide to the front of the property, the big single wide, I should be walking because I'm here for exercise. I started doing this for exercise, and then I was like, hey, I could do a walk and talk. Now I start leaning on the thing, looking at the creek and talk. It's the lean on the railing talk. So I think I'm having a good time today. So when I moved to the larger single wide in front of the property, both the cardinal and the blue jay, they both literally, I'm telling you, they both moved to the front trees. They literally moved with me. That was so cool, man. That's God. That's one's a sign of peace. I think was like, you know, I like bluebirds, Mr. Bluebird on my shoulder, you know, and cardinals, regal, and it was like, here are these two species that aren't supposed to get along, but they always got along where I was. And I always see, and it's something because most of the time, a lot of time I see, when I see blue jays, I always see cardinals till this day. I think that's pretty cool. And so that's just a weird thing. I think it's a God thing. Look for God in everything, man. Let's just look for God in everything. That's what we do. And see how dry that overflow is. That's real dry. And as you can see the creek. You can see the creek over there. But this is all overflow, and that hasn't overflowed in a long time. Kind of slowed down. There's a couple that came by, and they walking slow. I don't want to bother them. Looks like they have their camera out or something. I don't know. I don't want to bother them, you know. And so I buy these tires from Firestone in 2018. I bought these tires, and they were rated as 65,000 mile tires. Rated at 65,000 mile tires. You know, manufacturer warranty, 65,000 mile tires. And so we just did a quarter mile. So really, in terms of ride, in their performance, very, very good tires. I thought they were very, very good tires. I mean, stopping power, grip, performance, the smoothness of the ride. I was very impressed with those tires. I had been a Goodyear guy almost my whole driving life. You know, I always figured if Goodyear was good enough for NASCAR, Goodyear was good enough for Steve. And so, you know, but Jesus, back in 2018, he was able to come up with all these different coupons and stuff like that, and I think these tires were like about $110 a piece, but I was out the door for I think it was like $320. That was like $320. I mean, he really got me discount. There's this discount, that discount, and he pulled out all the stops. So it was a good deal, and that was cool. But I'm watching these tires, and I'm like looking at them going, hey, these because tires have built-in wear indicators. If you didn't know, there's crossbars, and something like these in the center of the tire will start this like line of white stripes. If you get down to the point, you'll see that, and that's also a wear indicator saying, hey, it's time to change your tires. And I'm looking at this going, I'm down to the crossbars, and I'm seeing the white indicators, and I'm looking at my mileage, and I'm thinking, okay, this doesn't seem to be right. And it turns out my mileage from the time I got the tires, I put in, you know how much I put in? 19,000 miles. I put on 19,000 miles. Only 19,000 miles. And they were rated to go 65,000 miles. Now, Matt, and we got to pray for Matt for success at his new job. You know, he got a new job. He's managing the Firestone I went to yesterday. I says, hey, Matt, what's the deal? What's Firestone's deal on this? Here are my tires. Look them up. And now I rotate my tires about every 5,000 miles. 5,000 to 7,500. And as long as you show a history of continually rotating your tires, I mean, it makes your tires wear perfect, man. There was not much difference in any of the wear of the tires. One was wearing a little bit heavier than all the other three on the inner side. Not to any great significance, but for a tire guy, you look at that, and I did not. The guy that was doing my tires isn't that trained. I'll just say isn't that trained. And so he didn't know what tire, where that tire came off of. So if I knew what side that came off of, because I'm rotating them just back and forth, staying same side of the car. There's different ways to rotate. And that's an indicator that it might be a shock thing or a chassis thing or something, but it wasn't significant enough where, oh my gosh, I need a front end alignment or something like that. Especially after the fact that all the tires wore almost exactly the same, and they all wore down to the crossbars, the cross indicators, at the same time. So I showed a history of rotating. Rotate your tires, people. Rotate your tires. You know, your tires are a very big expense in your driving life, and if you don't rotate them, now you've just really ruined your investment. Rotating is very important, and the reason I enunciate important is because it's important. That's why I enunciate the word important. And so rotate your tires. Keep track of your tire wear. Look for the indication of an inside tire wearing more than the other. Like I said, I saw one. It wasn't that significant of saying, okay, this is because of mechanical, because your road hazard warranty and or your warranty from the manufacturer will not apply if it's a mechanical reason why the tire didn't do what it was supposed to do. So be aware of those things. Rotate your tires, see how your tread wear is going, and that way you can get the best out of your investment. Always get road hazard. Spend the money on road hazard. I've had it pay off for me way more than the $5 or $10 per tire would cost over the years. It benefits you. I mean, you just think about you don't get the road hazard. And if you don't get the road hazard, you drive out of your place, got brand new tires. And remember, you bought those tires. You said, I don't want no road hazard. And you go out there, you get on the highway, big chunk of metal goes through your tire. It can't be repaired. You can't spend that $5 or $10 on that flat repair because that tire's done. Brand new. You just spent $160, $200, whatever the case may be on that tire, and you didn't get road hazard. Now you go back and say, hey, I just bought these tires, you need to replace that. Well, no they don't. You didn't buy road hazard. If you bought road hazard, they would have said, yes we do, here's your free tire, because there is no tire wear on that. And road hazard goes by a prorate. If your tires started off at let's say 12-30 seconds, and you come in and the tire can't be repaired, there's a nail on the sidewall, or there's two nails too close to each other, there's rules, safety rules on these things. Well, they're going to replace the tire, but they're going to replace it on a prorate. They're going to replace it on a prorate. And that's kind of how I got the discounts I did on the warranty, but it was a tread life warranty. And so I had to pay something, but I'll tell you the deal in a minute, but it's a prorate. I understand that they're going to prorate that. And when you go in to say, hey, my tire, blah, 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 and go in with a good attitude, be friendly, say, how can you help me? Be kind to the person you're working with, because let me tell you something. You know, sometimes I guess I'm not as I'm not as redeemed and consecrated as I'd want to be. But if you come in and you're acting the jack blank and you're a real blankety blank, you know, what I do is I say, hey Scott, this customer, blah blah blah, man, this is how, you know, this was their freaking attitude, man. Guess what? Instead of prorating that thing, he could measure that thing and put it in there. You could have a 7:30 seconds and he'd put in for a 9:30 seconds, and that would save you some money. I'll tell you what, you put it in, it's a 7:30 seconds, put it in at a 4:30 seconds, guess what? You ain't gonna save much money at all, because 3:30 seconds, that's a worn tire. That's all the way worn. So understand, a good attitude goes a long way with people. Just like I said, be kind to your server, because you don't want them spitting in your food. You know, you're dealing with people, and yeah. So always have a good attitude, always be friendly, and it'll pay off. And so that's tire wear warranties. That's how they do it. And road hazard pays off. I mean, it has for me. You know, if you get a prorate and you're halfway through that, well, you're only going to pay for half the price of the tire. Okay? If you get if it's 12:30 seconds, you get a 6:30 seconds, you need a new tire, well, you have to pay for half the price of the tire, because you've already used half the price. Now, we're only 3/4 of a mile in. I shouldn't be feeling tuckered, so I'm gonna walk it out. We're gonna do at least 1.5 miles. So where was it? So you're gonna pay something. But if it's a $200 tire and you're paying $100, you paid $10 for that road hazard, and you're only paying $100 for a new tire. Well, baby, you just made out. You just saved yourself a whole lot of money. And I've had it pay off time and time again. I've had customers man, actually come to me, because I'd explain in depth the benefits of road hazard, because people go, oh, no, I don't need to spend the money on that. Well, there's this one guy that came there, man, he got these he got these Generals expensive tires. They're like $250, $275 a piece. And I was like, okay, so we're gonna get road hazard, right? He capped an attitude with me, man. I don't need no road hazard. Well, you're just trying to sell me something I don't need. Blah, blah, blah. I said, that's fine, sir. I'm just offering it to you. You know, he wouldn't even let me explain the benefits. I tried to explain the benefits. He wouldn't even let me explain the benefits. Well, literally, he pulled out. He comes back 2 hours later, blowout, because of something, because of a hazard in the road. And he says, you need to replace this tire. I said, no, sir. You need to buy a new tire. Well, I just bought this. I said, yeah, and I offered you road hazard. I tried to explain to you why you get road hazard. $10. He's spending $300 a tire, and he was too cheap to spend an extra $10 a tire for road hazard. And I told him that too. I wasn't friendly about it. I said, this was your choice. I tried to help you. You didn't receive my help. I tried to explain it to you. I was trying to tell you this could happen. But you were so cheap, you couldn't spend, you're spending $1,200 on tires, and you're not gonna spend $40 more to cover them? I said, that's on you, buddy, because he gave me an attitude. So I attituded him right back, man. I was not playing. There are days that you just don't want to play with me. I'm a sweet, kind guy. I seek Jesus, seek first righteousness. I try to, and I do, and I'm doing better. But there are days, man, I'm not the guy you play with, man. You know, there are just days that you need Christ in me to be your hope of glory, because I'm not playing, and I was not playing that day. He said, okay, well, just I need another tire. I said, yes, you do. Now you're gonna get road hazard on that tire? He says, does it cover the others? I said, no, sir. You got one opportunity to buy road hazard. It's when you buy the tire, not after you leave the premises. I said, but you can cover that tire in case that tire blows out again, or you get nails on the sidewall, whatever the case may be. I said, least-wise, you won't have to pay for that tire again, but you might have to pay for the others because you were too cheap to cover your tires. He said, yeah, I'll just, get the road hazard on the one tire. And so we did that. And, you know, there are people out there like myself that don't try to sell you something for the sake of selling you something. We're trying to help you get the benefits of what's available to you in the system that we have. And is this going to be? It is going to be, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so we're going to be at a mile. So awesome. And I lose track. So here it is. I do have road hazard, and I do understand there's a manufacturer tread life warranty. It's limited. There's another lizard. Is it the same lizard? Can you see it? I swear I have to look on this GoPro 9 and see how to zoom in. I know I swear I read it or saw it in YouTube that I can zoom in with this camera. I just don't know how. And then I forget to learn to know how. And then I'm like, oh, I need to zoom in. I need to know how. And then I go through the explanation of, I'm pretty sure you can zoom in. And I'm pretty sure I saw it on a YouTube, but I don't know how, but I need to learn to know how. And so that's a causality loop I need to break. So I'm coming down this place, I'm seeing this wear on these tires, and I'm like, and I find out the amount of mileage. I says, Matt, because I knew I did not put 65,000 miles on those tires from the time I got them. And I says, hey Matt, how many miles did I have on these tires when, how many miles did I have when I bought these tires on the car? And he looked, he said, 35,000. I'm like, dude, I only got 154,000 on it now. That's only 19,000. These things are rated at 65,000 miles. Right? I said, is there anything you can do? What is the procedure? What does Firestone do? You know, I was just asking him. You know, Matt's actually become a friend of mine over the years. And he's moving to another job, so we got to pray for him. Because I'm one of those that, even though I delivered to him, I've also helped him out while he's been at his stores to figure this thing out or that thing out. He knows I'm there to help him. And so he's there to help me. And he looks and he goes, wow, man. I says, yeah, we're going to be able to, definitely we're going to be able to help you. Not a problem, Steve. And, you know, I love Matt. Very good guy. He's the guy whose ex-wife I prayed for in a laundromat with the revelation of, you shall bear fruit no more, taking away something's purpose. Jesus took away the purpose of the fig tree, which was to bear fruit. We are to bear fruit. As born again people, we are to bear fruit of more born again people, and to bear the fruit of love, peace, joy, kindness, goodness, and temperance, self-control, you know, all that. And we're supposed to bear the fruit of that. And the devil knows that concept too, and that's why he tries to insert himself into your life and stop you from bearing the fruit of the kingdom into this earth. And but I prayed that, I taught it to her and him, and then we prayed, and I commanded to that cancer. I said, cancer, I'm speaking directly to you. You will bear fruit no more in this woman's body. And she got completely healed of cancer. And the thing I still don't understand, but it's people being people. She wasn't too long after she was told that cancer was gone, that she then cheated on Matt and then divorced him. I'm like, and I can't, God's gonna have to figure that one out. God, I'm sure he does, he's God. But it's still hard for me to say, God worked this great miracle in your life, and it's like the first thing you do is, to me, the first thing you do is mock God and commit adultery and then leave your husband. That's crazy to me. I'm not judging, I'm just saying that's crazy to me. Man, you know, God healed me of a bad heart in 2001, completely made my heart new. A miracle right in front of the cardiologist. Hey, there's Red Jay. There's the Red Jay. Hi, Red Jay. How you doing, buddy? That's a good Red Jay right there. Yeah, Red Jay. And Red Jay. So that's just one for the books. I pray for her. You know, there's redemption in all things, and as long as she keeps coming back to Jesus, you know, that's what counts. You know, we make mistakes. Don't be in guilt or condemnation. Be under conviction, and just seek the Lord and see how you can be rectified in that situation. So anyway, so me and Matt, I said, Matt, man, this is crazy. I've never seen a 65,000 mile tire all wear out to in 19,000 miles. He goes, no, that's crazy. And he says, I see that you get your tires rotated all the time, so you qualify for anything and everything I can do for you. I say, see, that's cool. That's why I appreciate the fact that the Lord put me in a situation of selling tires, being a service rider and working with tires. It's just something that I know, and I know what to do to get the best thing out of them. And that's cool. And Walker's Creek Park. So I think when I finish, I'll be at 2 miles. So here I am. He says, oh yeah, I got this set up and it's gonna be 2:03 out the door, blah, 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 blah. It's all taken care of. And now, Matt is a great guy, but his attention to detail and follow through is a little lacking. As I told him, I says, dude, when you build your team in your next in this next adventure, keep me in mind, because you know I'm one of those guys that fills in those gaps for you. And he goes, yes, you are. And so I got a possibility of a new venture once he gets himself established. I don't know. I go where God leads me, man. Seek first righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. What things? Your destiny, your purpose, the place where you're supposed to be at, the day you're supposed to be there. You know, he orders your steps. So as my steps are ordered, as I'm a person who seeks first righteousness and his ways of doing things, his thoughts about this, his character on this, his actions on this, I know my steps are ordered. So as I'm taking these steps right here in this park, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be in my timeline, living out my purpose and walking towards my destiny. And that's for you too. So I get to the store, make an appointment, 10 a.m. appointment. Friday, man, the Lord just put on my heart, you need to get there early. You need to get there early. And so I got there an hour early at 9 o'clock and started interacting with Kenya. Beautiful, beautiful person, very smart, very intellectual. At the end of the day, at the end of the 6 hours, she took care of me. She made it happen. But Matt didn't have the tires delivered that were needed, so she had to figure out who had what and where to get them. He also had them in as the wrong size tire. He looked them up and he spoke out the tires that I had on them. And my tires actually take a 195 65 16, and I actually ride with a 205 65 16. It's a little bit of a wider tire. No, a 205 60 16. It's a little wider and a little shorter, and it gives a better ride, and that's what I like. And it's acceptable to do it like that. If I went any wider and shorter, it wouldn't have been a great fit. But they're an awesome fit to the car, the Kia Soul. And so he didn't have that done, and he had the 195 65 16s in there, and the computer might have just done that. He just wasn't detailed to check it. So here I am. Okay. And then she caught it and she said, the tires you have on there are 205 60 16s, but he has in here 185 65 16. And I said, yeah, that's what the paper, that's what the car manufacturer puts on there, but I don't like them skinny tires. And Matt even said to me 205 60 16. I said, yeah. So maybe the computer just popped it in there because that's what it actually calls for. But she said, okay, I'm glad I caught that. I said, I'm glad you caught that too. She said, let me find where the tires are, because that wasn't ever done. And now we're pushing. Now she's busy. Now here's a woman, steadfast woman. And I'm going to set her picture. As a matter of fact, at this point, Kenya, steadfast woman, smart, beautiful, handling everything that was coming at her. And right now I'm going to put up her little video of introducing you to Kenya, and I'll be right back. We are here at Firestone. This is Kenya, and she's the one that brings beauty to the whole thing. The other guys don't look out there. Just stay in here. So yeah, this is my experience this morning, and it's a good one.
Yes.
Yes. And here I am right back. And beautiful woman, smart, detailed, you know, catching things that other people wouldn't catch. And that's so funny. And she's able to hold her temper too. Guy came in. Now I'm able to observe a lot of things. I'm there for 6 hours. So she's trying to get this. She got tires, they finally get delivered. Now, the last Firestone I went to, when they did my rotation, they over torqued a lug nut, and they said, "Where'd you get your tires done?" I said, "You got the record, I got it done at Firestone." And we're done our walk. It's 2 miles. And so, wonderful woman, but man, phone call, phone call, phone call. Now here's the difference, what I'm saying, between Firestone, the organization, and Firestone's people. She was left there at one of their busiest locations with absolutely no help. The 6 hours I was there, she did not once go to the restroom. That's unconscionable. Phone's ringing off the hook, people coming in. She's handling it. She's trying to find a stud for my wheel. And then we find out that, and we had to get a lug nut. Now, like I said, the guy, Toby, who was working on it, he's a new guy, new tech, just learning stuff. She says, "Hey, go into the back room, see if you can find a lug nut that will fit that." So he grabs a lug nut that just kind of looked like the lug nut that was on there. And I'm getting, man, you listen to the Holy Spirit. Now I got freedom to walk in and out of the service base because I deliver there all the time. So I go out there and I says, "Did you check the thread pitch?" "Well, what's that?" And I take the one he found, and it didn't fit the nuts. It didn't fit the studs. So I start working on that, and I started working on the whole project and to get this thing moving, because man, I'm 4 hours in. I'm 5 hours. I don't even know how many hours in. But so I take the initiative. She's real busy. She's trying her best, man. The DM of that district manager, to leave a store and one person without any help like that on a Saturday, that district manager needs to be held accountable. In my opinion, that district manager should be fired, because that should never happen. It shouldn't happen to the person that's working for the company, and it shouldn't happen to the customers that are paying that district manager's salary. Honestly, that district manager isn't doing nothing to earn his salary. He's not on the ground doing nothing. Is having the proper amount of people in the store to take care of the customers that's paying his salary. That guy should be canned. Bye-bye. You can't do your job. You didn't support your stores. The only reason a DM is there is to make sure that the stores have what they need to succeed. If you don't have the proper crew, you have a person in there that can't even go to the bathroom in 6 hours, you need to be fired. That's my statement on the corporation aspect of Firestone. Now, Firestone did meet the warranty, but that was because of the people that they hire that are good people and that can understand the system. And when it was all said and done, I stepped in, I found the right lug nuts, I interceded with Hinson at my store, and we finally, by the end of the day, the young boys started to take apart the hub assembly and break. I says, "Nah, son." They said the lead mechanic, Curtis, was going to do it, and and this is Curtis. This is the crew, some of the crew that work there, and I'll be right back. I'm at Firestone. I told you that, but this is the shop. That's the shop.
Hey, it's good, huh?
And
GoPro, huh?
GoPro, yeah. YouTube. Yeah. My car's not in yet. But you see, These are the professionals at Firestone. That's Curtis, that's Noah, and where's the other young man?
He ran somewhere.
So
Talking about Jay?
this is Jay. This is my morning right now, and I'm waiting on these guys to get in my car, but I know they'll do it good because they have to see me every day at work. The Firestone experience. And I am right back. I don't even know if I can do that right, but maybe I didn't leave enough time software. Which now, if you guys can just get me more supporters, I think there's a way to actually become a monetary supporter of my YouTube channel. If you can think about that, I have to figure out how to do that. Because now the editing software, it gave me like 30 days or 60 days or something like that free without watermarks, and it didn't give me full everything, but I'd really like to have all the full everythings and to get that watermark out of there again. And to pay it up front would be it's $11.95 or $12 times 12, so it's $144 up front for the year, or it's like $20 a month to do it monthly. So think about that. I'll leave the watermark in there. You know, I put something behind it to kind of like so you don't notice it so much. Now you're gonna try to look at, now you're gonna be looking at it. So I shouldn't have even said that. Gosh. But so I'm watching Kenya. We got it worked out, and I walked out of there. I got the warranty. I walked out of there with what Matt said, with a better tire, because those tires that I had on there were actually taken out of service after 2 years of being in service, being up for sale. So there was obviously a problem. That was probably the problem, that they were wearing out way fast. So they upgraded the tire, but they also upgraded the price. So these are $160 a piece. Okay, so essentially when it was said and done, I got them for $37.50 a piece, then road hazard and stuff. So it came out, she made sure it came out to $203.47. So she honored that, and she did a really good job on that. But she's doing a really good job with everybody in her situation. Better job than I would have expected anybody to do in her situation. And so kudos to you, Kenya. And I'm just praying that they get a new DM that understands how to take care of stores and how to take care of people. And but man, there's this guy who came in, and I got to meet a young Venezuela guy. I don't know if he was legal or illegal, but he's learning English and stuff. And he's telling me he's working, and he's making, you know, he's making money and stuff. And I said, that's good, man. You know what? If you're working and not sucking off of my dollar, I'm okay with that. For the most part. Illegal immigration, you know, if it's illegal, it's illegal, and you should do it legally. But at least this guy, he was a sweet guy, and he wasn't sucking off the government teat. In other words, he wasn't taking out of my pocket in your pocket. Nice guy. But there's this guy that came in, and this will be my last story on this, and we'll let you go. And so this guy comes in, and it turns out at the end of the story that he wasn't even at the right store. My wife made an appointment here, blah, 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 and then they're talking about the road hazard and stuff, and he was saying, he was saying, oh, the placement of the tires, that you put the new tires on the rear and you keep the old tires in the front. And they have this big poster that explains it. And Kenny just says, like, and tries to tell that to him, and he goes, yeah, you know, I had this conversation with the other lady that was here, and okay, so I kind of remember that. And he was talking about Annie, who was but she was kind of rude. I know she was probably on her period, and you got to deal with women when they're on their period. And she said, and she was sitting there, and she went from a really I could hear her voice. She said, "You say what?" She said, "You say." She's all nice. She said, and she's holding her peace, trying to explain it. And then she goes, "And you said what?" Yeah, you know, and we got to deal with that. I'm married, and I got 3 daughters, and man, and you got to deal with a woman's period. And she goes, oh, okay, man, I thought she was gonna go ballistic, but she held her peace. she was a professional and she held her peace. I know someone that I work with that if I mean, he said some other things too that were derogatory in that fashion. And it was just like, I work with somebody that she wouldn't have let him get away with that at all. I mean, but then it comes down, he says, well, then, she says, I don't have an appointment for you, and we're busy. We won't be able to get to it till the end of the day and stuff. And he goes, well, can I make an appointment for tomorrow? And she says, yeah, we can make it. No, it won't be till Monday. And he goes, okay, well, let's make that appointment. And then he came back in, and he comes back. He left, and he comes back. My wife says she made an appointment, and he throws the paperwork at Kenya, and she looks at the paperwork, and she goes, yeah, at 245 Harwood. That's the store 3 miles down the road, 2-3 miles down the road, Harwood and Norwood. And that's where his wife made the appointment. And she said, yeah, down there, and you probably, and you need to go down there and try to see if they'll honor your appointment. You know, have a nice day. And that was it. So anyway, spent 6 hours at Firestone. The DM, garbage. Kenya and Tex, good. Toby needs to learn more. Curtis is a great mechanic. He's been there forever. He's my age. And it all got done. You got to meet Curtis and you got to meet Kenya. And that was my experience at Firestone. 6 hours at Firestone on my Saturday. I didn't even get my nap. And I had to do all my editing for last week's video all night last night. Or this week's video. Well, last week's, this week's. You know, because I'm a week behind. You know how that works. Well, anyway, I love you. God bless you. And I'll see you next time.